Hi, Blue Chips. This is Joy. For our February meeting, I'm going to be talking to you about professional etiquette. So, first off, just to make sure everybody understands kind of what we're talking about, etiquette is defined as kind of a code of behavior that influences expectations for social behavior. And it is according to norms within society, social class, and a group. So, as a blue chip, right now you are deciding and choosing who you will be as our member of Dogwood Elementary. So, how do you conduct yourself and how are you going to handle yourself at work? One good quote that I really liked about this topic is that the quality of a leader is reflected in the standards that they set from themselves. And if that is true, then what we want to do is set the standards that we hold ourselves to very high, because we are a reflection of our school, and also we have a lot of kids that are looking up to us as a role model. So please don't base how you're going to act on the minimal effort of others. Punctuality. So, of course, being on time is something that, is simple to say and can sometimes be tricky as we get into the real life, day to day stuff that happens. But please try to abide by our school's contracted hours for teachers by showing up on time and even being early for work functions, IEP meetings, and professional development events. Please know that people do realize when new people and veterans are late or absent from these meetings. If at all possible, you want to attend unless you are just very sick or have a good reason. If you do need to leave early, please just communicate that to our admin and make sure that they understand the reason for that. So the next part of professional etiquette is our attire, and this is something that admin has asked us to address. Just make sure that you are dressing for your job. That the thing to consider is that we are supposed to be day-to-day business casual. They do notice when people are wearing jeans, even if they're colored jeans on non-jeans day. If you're wearing leggings, with a dress shirt, that is something that's been mentioned, and just wearing t-shirts. So make sure that when you're coming to work that you are, people know that this is your classroom, that you're here to do a serious job, which is shape the future of our students. And so we don't want visitors looking around wondering who in the world is the teacher in the classroom. Just think about your teacher heroes and study how they present themselves. Two people that always come to my mind are going to be Ron Clark and Kim Beard, and they're always dressed for success. Communication. This is also something that can be tricky as the year goes on and we have to have difficult conversations with parents. So the best way to avoid misunderstandings with parents and to clear up any kind of emotional email and things like that is going to be just being very clear with them from the beginning. The more that you keep them informed about the classroom news and what's happening in your classroom and at school, the more they're going to feel like part of the team that's making decisions for their kid. Please also be sure to proofread all your emails and anything you're going to send out. If you know that grammar and spelling is a struggle for you, have someone else read it just to make sure. And I would also make sure before you send in any kind of student observations and things like that, that you are going to look over them very carefully for grammatical and spelling errors. Lastly, I would just say that if you do get, a very emotional email or call, the best way to handle that is on the phone or in a conference. And if you ever need backup, our admin are willing to step in. I know I would be willing to be there. So just reach out for support if you feel like you're kind of in a dicey situation. So another topic to consider is how do we behave in meetings and as they've asked us to begin going in and observing other teachers. So just be sure to always be respectful during any kind of meeting that you are in at the school. This can be a general staff meeting, a smaller team meeting, or IEP meetings. So please also consider to always come to meetings prepared. I would never walk into a meeting empty handed. So either print off a Power School report, bring in some personal notes on a strength and a weakness to work on, bring in a work sample. If nothing else, just bring in a notepad and a pen so that you can take down some parent concerns and some of the things that they say during the meeting. Whenever you're in the meeting, please do not pull out your cell phone or your computer to check emails or anything like that. Just try to be in the moment, present, so that you can engage in that meeting. Appropriate relationships. So just be sure that you have drawn a line where the students know that you are an adult and that you're not necessarily here to be a friend. You are here to be their teacher and mentor and guide. Also, they are not your kids. I know we all love them like they're our kids, but just make sure that that we are treating them, as our students. Treat faculty and staff members' children the exact same way that you treat all students. Enforce your rules, follow consequences, and rewards according to the behavior plan that you set up at the beginning of the year. Please email to schedule conferences to discuss concerns about behavior and grades. Do not interrupt their teaching, which is their job to handle any of this personal business. Kids are looking for positive teacher role models. They are looking for structure, they're looking for guidance, and they're definitely looking for us to fill that role. So please do that the best you can and try not to be something that you shouldn't be for them. Lastly, one little tidbit I wanted to leave you with was how to use the calendar app on Outlook. I know that we get sent a lot of IEP invites through Outlook, and I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that the way that you can respond back to that is just by saying accept without comments. The email will disappear, but then if you go to your calendar view, it will show you that meeting. And it's an easy way to kind of keep yourself organized on what meetings you should be in. You can also add events to your calendar by just double clicking on the day and then writing it in. I've recently discovered that there's a free phone app available for our email. It's that OWA. I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to be constantly checking my work email. I don't even use it to check my work email. It does say, do you want pop-up reminders from your calendar? And I said yes, because what I want to do is I want access to that calendar when I'm trying to see, do I need to be there early today? Do I not need to, be in this IEP meeting? Do I need to be there? It's just a really simple way to constantly have access when you're not on your computer. So, in order to get credit for this meeting, and this month's meeting is a flipped meeting, we're trying to do a few different styles of meetings to see what works best for our blue chips. All you need to do is email your response to these two questions to myself and Mr. Simons, and you can actually just combine my two questions with his two and just copy us both on them. So, question number one, what is one specific area that you can improve your professional behavior? And question number two, what's one strategy you will attempt to use to make this improvement? Bye, Julie. Bye. I'm going to leave you with one last quote from Todd Whitaker. And it is, great teachers have high expectations for their students, but even higher expectations for themselves. So thanks for listening and watching, and I'll see you in the hallway.